Welcome back to the Dragon Den, my loyal Dragonites. King of Dragons 5000 is back with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Cable. Here we have a better look at Cable, and does he look very impressive. But before we have a look at his details, let's run through his accessories. Cable does come with two different sets of hands, as well as the barrel break and the vagabond. Other than that, Cable himself doesn't come with any other accessories, so with that out of the way, let's have a closer look at Cable. Hasbro has done a very impressive job here with this rendition of Cable, as he looks very good. The blues do a really good job contrasting the yellows, and everything on him looks fairly clean. The head sculpt is Hasbro's best attempt at Cable, as this looks very good and very accurate to the comics. The scar over his right eye does look very impressive, and his yellow eye does have that glowing effect to it. Add to it, Hasbro was able to paint in some stubble here on Cable, giving him a 5 o'clock shadow. The hair on Cable is actually done really nicely, with some tufts of hair coming in the front of his face, and it's combed back nicely. Hasbro has done a really good job choosing the body here for Cable, as it's big and massive, as he should be. It's probably a brand new torso, as I don't know many characters that have this exact harness setup. The harness is actually done in sections, where we have the top part of the harness connected to his upper torso, and the lower part of his harness is actually sculpted onto his belt, giving this really nice illusion that it's all one piece. And then we do have two X-Men insignias on either side of his harness, which are painted really cleanly. And his outfit has a lot of nice details, with a neck piece that looks really good, as well as some folds and wrinkles in between the musculature. Cable's left arm is done in this really vibrant metallic finish, as it does have that techno virus feel to it. It is done in a pearlized silver, but it's a deep silver, which actually does a really good job contrasting the rest of his outfit. He does have on a yellow wristband, which has some sculpted detail, and you can see he's wearing a blue glove. And Cable's right arm is just the same as his uniform, done in that blue plastic. You can still see some pinholes, which I'm perfectly fine with, and he's wearing that exact same wristband on this arm. And he's wearing the same blue glove, which has some impressive details with folds and wrinkles going throughout it. Cable's belt has some impressive details, from the red buckle in the middle with the X-Men insignia, which is painted really nicely. The rest of his belt is actually sculpted very cleanly, and it is unfortunate that it is just cast in this yellow plastic. Because it's just cast in one color, you do lose a lot of that impressive detail, from the line work on the belt all the way down to the clips in his pouches. And of course, Cable is wearing some yellow trunks, which do a really good job matching the rest of the yellow found throughout his outfit. His legs are cast in that same blue plastic, which his torso is made out of, and it really does look good here, with the striation in his muscles being really prominent. And on either leg you can see that he has these straps, which have some really nice detail, and the pouches on them are sculpted nicely. Cable's knee pads are once again cast in this really nice yellow plastic, and the detailing on them is very well done. His calves are cast in that blue plastic, which match the rest of the blue nicely. However, you can see the yellow parts here are just painted. It's very noticeable when you take into account the rest of his boot is cast in yellow plastic. And unfortunately, there's no real detail on his boots until you get down to his feet, where we do have a little bit of wrinkling here, as well as the soles sculpted in. So overall, despite having some reuse and some mismatched paint, Cable here is still a very impressive figure. And it is nice to finally see Cable in the X-Men blue and yellow color scheme, as he looks really good compared to the rest of the X-Men team. With his paint and details out of the way, let's compare Cable to our usual suspects. Here we have Cable posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and DC Multiverse Superman, Mattel's WWE Elite Series and Mezco's 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man, the Lightning Collection White Ranger, and the Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, we have the new Marvel Legend Cable posed next to several other Marvel Legend Cables. So as you can see, Cable is going to be taller than most of your standard Marvel Legend figures, as he is a bigger character. However, he's not oversized, which I really do like the fact that Hasbro scaled him nicely to the rest of the X-Men. With all his comparisons out of the way, let's have a look at Cable's articulation. Cable does have a ball joint in the head and a hinge in the neck. Arms go out to the side and do a full 360. A swivel in the bicep and a double hinge in the elbow. hinge and swivels at the wrist. Cable does have an ab crunch as well as a waist swivel. Legs do kick forward, go back, out to the side, and have a thigh swivel. Cable will have a double bend in the knee. He has a swivel in the calf, a hinge in the ankle, and forward-facing pin for rocker ankle. So overall, some great articulation here on Cable, and there's nothing really hindering it, which is one thing I really love. So with everything said and done about the Marvel Legends Cable, let's get him posed for my final thoughts. The X-Men is one of my favorite comic books from Marvel, and Cable here looks really good when he's posed next to the rest of your X-Men collection. It is nice to see Cable in the blue and yellow color scheme, which does match several other teams, but I really think it's a good figure even standing alone. I do like the impressive detail that they were able to put into his costume, where we do have some folds and wrinkles throughout his torso. Add to it the way they engineered his harness so it didn't limit any articulation is a really smart move, and I really do like the way it looks. I do like that Hasbro threw in several guns here with Cable, although it is quite noticeable that they are just mini Nerf guns. It really doesn't bother me because they still look like futuristic guns, and it's really smart of Hasbro using their own IPs for weapons. I do wish that Hasbro gave us a second head sculpt for Cable. As much as I love this neutral expression, I would have loved to see a more stylistic yelling head as well. But overall, Cable is still a great figure, and he looks good when you pose him next to the rest of your X-Men display. At the time I'm making this video, Cable is actually quite hard to come by, as this wave was a fan channel wave and finding Cable online has been quite difficult. Being a popular character, he's quite sought after, so if you are looking to complete your Zabu Build-A-Figure, he does come with one of the legs, so he is essential to completing Zabu. If you can get Cable at a great price, or even find him at retail, I highly recommend you pick him up, especially if you're filling out the rest of your X-Men teams. With that being said, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and check out the rest of my X-Men and Marvel Legend videos. If you're in a position to help out the Dragon Den, check out my Patreon, where I have some exclusive content and early access videos. Check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, videos, recent pickups, latest prints, and as always, ring that bell so you never miss another video. And until next time, my loyal Dragon Knights coming from the Dragon Den, I'm KingofDragons 5000 reminding you to redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I'll see you next time.